minutes. I promise I'll get off the stage then. I have just a few things to say, and it's much easier to say them if if it's not too noisy. First of all, I'd like to welcome everybody here for the benefit for Mick Carroll. Most of us know Mick, he's been here a long time. I met Mick first back in 1971. He was managing a bar in Tullamore and I was managing another bar, and we became friends. And then I came to America to run the Dubliner, and Mick came over in 1981 and he worked at the Dubliner with me for about 4 or 5 years, and then decided there was no money in bar business, so he went off and became a carpenter, and I should have gone with him. But he's been very successful over the years, and what about anybody talks again, it's an extra 20 bucks. He became very successful in the carpentry business and building business, and he attended every Irish function in Washington and Virginia and Maryland, and every fundraiser there was, Mick always gave money. He even gave money to Pat Troy, which was pretty good, as we all did. But he worked for me for a long time at the Dubliner, and then every year, when I bought here in 1991, he came and worked for me on St. Patrick's Day here. He was one of the few guys other than Peter Fitzgerald who worked all day and all night. And so when I left here then, he worked for my brother Frank here since then on St. Patrick's Day as well. On 16, 17 years ago on St. Patrick's Day, he was here working, he went for lunch. The Roma was open at the time. He had lunch at the Roma and got sick about 2 hours later, and I blamed it on the Roma, but it turned out the next day he went to the doctor and it was non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. He was in very bad shape. He ended up in hospital for a long time, went through a lot, got a kidney removed, spent a lot of time in the hospital, got his bone marrow taken out, put back in again and everything else. We went to see him several times. We had to have masks on and everything else. When he was in the hospital here in Maryland, I went to see him almost every day, and he never looked too good, even when he was well. But in the hospital he looked awful, he looked really bad. And one day, Colm Dillon, who you'll see here in a few minutes, Colm said to me, "You have to talk to Mick." I said, "Why?" He said, "He's smoking." And he was. Mick was in the hospital with drips everywhere on a wheel, and he'd go out the back wheeling, and he'd be out there puffing on cigarettes. And it got to be a point, I'd said to the nurse, "Where is he?" And she said, so he got the back smoking. So Colm said, "You need to talk to Mick." And I said to Colm at the time, "Mick has about 2 days to live, so don't worry about the smoking." But he lived 16 years longer and he's still alive, so he's a tough son of a bitch, Mick is. Another time, it was a summertime after he recovered from lymphoma. He was walking, carrying a small ladder, and he fell, and he had a port in his chest where they used to plug him in for chemo, and he popped the port out. And instead of going back to hospital like normal man would do, Mick pushed it back in and got some duct tape and put it over it. And that's a true story, and continued working. So that's one more use for duct tape, but that is a true story. That's true. To this day, I know his doctor, Dr. Miller, and Dr. Miller has been to the inn many times, and I've met with Mick, and he points at Mick and he said, "You should be dead. We didn't save you 16 years ago. You should be dead." And I believe that Mick, the doctors did not save Mick. Mick has great faith in everything. He's a very, very religious man, goes to church all the time and does a lot of nice things for people. And I think it comes back, and just his attitude alone kept him going. About 5 weeks ago he went to Ireland, and he was going to home for the All-Ireland like he did every year. He got a headache and decided to go to the doctor, and they ended up in hospital with a brain tumour. Not good news, and not a good brain tumour either. He's been in the hospital. He was in the hospital for a couple of weeks and did an operation. It's not going to really do much to send him home after some treatment, and now he's back in St. Luke's, where they're giving him radiation 7 days a week for 5 weeks. And then sometime in December he'll be off the medication, and he said he wants to come back for a couple of days in January, so hopefully he will, and then we get to see him. right now he's home. He went home Friday because he wanted to go home, because today at 4 o'clock we're going to try some new thing called Skype. Don't ask me how I know how to skip, but I don't know how to Skype. So Lisa Brigden is down there, and she's going to put Mick on around 4 o'clock. He'll say hello.
Right there. There he is.
And he's uglier than ever. I hope you can hear me. Look at him. I'll talk to you in a minute. Was he listening all the time?
Yeah.
Every word.
Anyway, he's on there. He'll say hello to us in a few minutes. About 4 or 5 weeks ago, a group of us got together. I'm not going to mention any names because I'd forget somebody, and we don't need recognition anyway. We did it because of Mick, and we went and cleaned out his sheds and his garage and his house and everything else. We sold his truck and his tools and his ladder. His house is for sale for somebody who needs a big lot, or for parking trucks or 5 or 6 cars. His house is for sale on Randolph Road for less than $400,000. My sister is up there in the pink sweater. She's listed a house, so anybody who wants to go buy it, go see her. Hopefully it'll sell in the next couple of weeks. It's not a good time to sell houses, but hopefully it'll sell. And hopefully with the money we made today and over the last couple of weeks selling tickets, we'll be able to pay off his mortgage until the house sells. So. Not much more. I told you I wouldn't keep you long, so there's not much more. The bar in the corner down here, beer was donated by several Irish bars, and whatever money is taken into that bar goes to Mick. They're $5 a pint. So all the money, if you need beer and you're down that end, buy the beer from down there, and hopefully we get a couple of $1,000 out of that to go to Mick as well. So I would spend a few dollars over here for the brother as well. He needs it. He needs it. Anyway, once again, I'd like to thank everybody for coming. I'd like to thank for all your donations and for buying your tickets. We sold most of the $100 tickets. There are some $20 tickets left. I'd like to sell them all. There's probably, Ron, is there another $120 tickets left? About that. So we'd like to sell them if we can at all. And I'd like to thank also all the bands who are playing here today. We have some great music. And the first band was a band called the Irish Inmates. And they play at the Irish Inn. This is a commercial. They play at the Irish Inn every Monday night at 7 o'clock. And coming on right now is a 19th Street band. And they also play at the Irish Inn. And this is Callie. And Mike there with you. And the wife over here. It's hard to say the wife. They're at the inn every second Wednesday. So they're going to play. They're really good. We're going to let them play. Jimmy Byrne from the McTaggarts is here by himself. He'll get up and play a few tunes, and then we'll have an auction. We have a silent auction over there, so go sign up. There's some beautiful stuff over there, and I got a pocket of stuff here for the main auction, and there's a load of stuff over here. So please, please, I know you came and spent a lot of money. I know you bought a lot of tickets. This is your one chance to spend some more money for Mick, and I know he'd appreciate it, and he'll be on in a few minutes and talk to you. Again, thank you very much, and we'll come back and see you in about an hour. Mick is ready to go now, so if we can have a little quiet now, we'll have Mick talk for maybe 2 minutes. Shh, 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 shh. This is from Ireland now, so be quiet. You can talk for a minute. Hold on. Shh, shh, shh. Hold on.
Lisa, can you hear me?
No.
Where's the speaker?
Yeah, you better tell him.
Okay.
Go ahead, Mick.
Okay, everybody, this is a very emotional day for me. First of all, I am blessed to have such a wonderful friends in DC, Maryland, Virginia, and a wonderful family here in Ireland that's taken care of me with this terrible tragedy that happened to me. I know a lot of work has gone into this function today. I believe there have been up to 30 people at all the meetings. At this time, I would like to thank my best friend and chairman of the fundraising committee, Christy Hughes, for doing all the Trojan work he is doing. There are a lot of groups working within the larger group, and you all know who you are. Number one, preparing my house for sale, getting my van, my tools, my ladders ready for sale, clearing out my garage and workshop, selling tickets, picking up door prizes, to all that have donated weekend houses, hotels, cars, meals, etc. Thank you so much. To the radio show for their advertising, Kathleen and Jim Courtney, thank you. Also to all the tradespeople who are donating their services for AC and heat pump installation, home security services, carpentry and labor. To all that are videoing and doing camera work, thank you so much. To all the floor and door staff and the ticket sellers. To all the musicians who have given their time. To all the dancers. And a very special to Frank Hughes and all his staff for a great day. Last but not least to my daughter Sandra and my grandson Cian and my sister Maura and her husband Stevie, who went out there to represent the family. A big thank you to everybody. That is it, guys. I hope I covered everybody and I did not leave anybody out. This is very, very emotional, and I feel very good. I've had a week's treatment and I got 5 more to go. So please God, we can beat this again. That is it now, and I'll be watching in with you. I'm here with Linda and Tom, and some of the rest of the family hopefully will be coming by later, and we'll be watching in with you until midnight. Thank you all very, very much.
Thank you all very much. That was very nice of Mick to call in. And down on the right hand side, I think you're on the right hand side, Stevie and Maura down there in the end. Where are they? Oh, stand up. There's Mick's sister and brother-in-law right here. Anyway, who's on now? Is it 19th Street Band? Okay, we're going to have Callie, Megan and Mike and the 19th Street Band. I think Tom has no room for Tom on the stage, right?